Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Todd, and I'm your professor for this new blended graduate practicum and master's capstone project. I've sent you guys an email and talking about how we've been trying to blend these two together and kind of taking a new approach to it. Well, I wanted to introduce myself, real quickly give you a little thumbnail about me, and then a quick overview about the course. I live here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where I've lived for many, many years. Real quickly, a little thumbnail about me. I grew up in Southern California, in the Los Angeles area, and I had the privilege of becoming a part of the Jesus movement back in the 70s. That's when while I grew up in a Christian home, it was really in my early high school years where I really came to kind of a personal understanding of the gospel and following Jesus. And so right after graduating college, I ended up on staff at a very large, growing Jesus movement church. I was an associate pastor there. I preached, I led worship, had some incredible opportunities. And then in 1982, my wife and I and our at that time only child, our eldest son, she was pregnant with our daughter, our second child. We moved from California, from Los Angeles to Denver, where I served as associate pastor of a large church in the Denver area, and it was a vineyard congregation. A few years later, they sent me down here to Colorado Springs, where I planted a vineyard church. And actually, I pastored there for many years, almost 20 years. And then in 1999, I made a transition to a mission role. It was kind of a long and hard decision, but it was something that God was leading in my life. And I began to work with an organization that trains pastors and leaders. And we've been training tens of thousands of leaders all throughout Africa for the last 20 years. This last trip I just took a few months ago was my 46th trip to Africa, if you can believe that. Now, within that period of time, there's kind of a parenthesis from, January 2014 until end of May, beginning of June 2017, about 3.5 years, I was asked to be the director of the King's University's Extension campus here in Colorado Springs. And that was just a wonderful opportunity. I'd already been an adjunct professor, but to take the helm, so to speak, of that campus was just a great opportunity. Sadly, but at the same time, it was a necessary move. The university made the decision to close the extension campus models that they had. And so I went back really full-time into my mission work. But then one of the deans asked me if I would consider teaching online classes. Well, I have to tell you, I had never taken an online class. I'd never taught an online class. That was a little bit outside my comfort zone. But that's been about 2.5 years now. I have been teaching a number of classes, and so it's been a lot of fun. I'm teaching a fairly significant load here at TKU of online classes. So that's kind of my background. Now this course, like I told you in the email, we've been trying to shift it a little bit to where it's not just checking off the list. You know, you volunteer a few hours a week and your pastor signs off on it and there you go. We want it to be more significant. We want it to be something that's actually of value to you guys. And so it's being developed a little bit as we go along. So I'd say a couple things. First of all, don't worry. We're kind of in this together, and while it's not completely fleshed out yet, it won't be a surprise or any thing you need to worry about. But basically, the first couple of weeks, we're going to look at a pretty significant document that I've sent you in an email. And we're going to help each other and interact together and identify 3 or maybe 4 areas of what are called leadership competencies that you feel like would be helpful for you to grow in your own personal spiritual development. And so then after that, after the first couple of weeks of identifying those, we want to launch into some kind of ministry practical opportunity. So we hope you've been lining those up. If you haven't, well, you probably need to get going on that real soon. But some area of ministry involvement, whether as a volunteer or if you're on actually a ministry staff, that's fine. And not only will you begin to do that ministry and you'll begin to record your own thoughts through a weekly journal that we will eventually, honestly, we're not going to grade the content of the journal. It's going to be pass-fail. In other words, you just regularly submit a weekly page on your journal and that'll be fine. but we want to see how we can grow in specific areas of competency. And so with that, I'm going to begin to provide at least every other week or so some kind of little teaching, a little video or something to talk about these areas. We're hoping to have throughout the 15 weeks at least 3, maybe 4 little collaborative video meetings for those who are able to do it, and it'll be recorded for those who are not able to be live, but where we can talk about our experience and how we're doing in this. So it's a little bit of a journey into the unknown, because it's kind of a new approach to the practicum courses that we've had in the past. But Dr. Frank Marco, the Dean of Extension Education, and I really believe that this is something that might really actually help you guys and not just be kind of a check-off list toward finishing your graduate degree. I just want to tell you guys, I am so honored to be a part of this process in your life, and I trust that God is going to use this in a tremendous way in your life. So the Lord bless you guys. I will be sending you emails. We'll be keeping in contact. Feel free to email me. Feel free to text me. If you text me, please let me know who you are, because if I don't have you in my contacts on my phone, it'll just show up as a number. Email is probably the preferable first way of reaching out to me, because I'm really good at responding to email. And we're going to have a great time. You're all going to be successful in the course. There's no concern about that at all. But let's make this a great opportunity this semester. God bless you guys.